Alrighty, we have reached week 15 of the NFL season. These weeks are starting to become more and more crucial towards the final playoff picture, and this will be an interesting one. We have all 32 teams playing this week, no buys. I think we're done with the buys for the rest of the year, so this will be interesting. It's a good slate. I thought last week we had a pretty good week. Let's continue the momentum, and these picks this week are. What I'll say is it's a challenging week, but I still like what I took. Challenging week, still like what I took. The first game of this window, Thursday Night Football, the Rams and the 49ers, and this is a matchup that is so crucial to that division. I mean, you're talking about like if the 49ers lose this game, they're probably done. They're probably done. Their chances are probably crushed. The Rams just had an incredible performance against the Bills, where Matt Stafford was playing incredible. There's a lot of things going on here. This one's tough. This one might be. And how many good Thursday Night Football games have we had recently? It's been good game after good game after good game, I swear. But I gotta pick one of these teams, and I'm going to take the Rams 31-30. I think they get it done. I like how they've played with Puka Nacua. I like how that defense has improved. I like how Matt Stafford has been playing, Sean McVay, obviously. But it's going to be a really good matchup. It's going to be a duel, and I'm going to take the Rams here. I just have to. I think that they've played really well recently, and I have the Rams 31-30. Moving on to the Sunday slate, we have the Chiefs and the Browns, and the Chiefs have played in a lot of close games recently, but I actually thought it was a quality win against the Chargers last week. Now, they had to get a doinked field goal to do it, of course, but I still thought it was a good performance nonetheless. And I think that they'll beat Cleveland pretty soundly here, 24-14. Cleveland, they'll show some flash. They'll get some touchdowns in there. But as I've continued to say, Jameis Winston just throws too many interceptions. He's a gunslinger. Jameis Winston's the definition of just a wild gunslinger. And I think that's going to burn them once again in this one. Give me the Chiefs 24-14. Bengals and the Tennessee Titans. And the Titans are just a bad football team. The Bengals, if they had a better defense, we're talking about a contender. Their offense is incredible. Jamar Chase has had a ridiculous year. Jamar Chase has been so good this year that he might. I had Justin Jefferson squarely as the number one receiver going this year. I think he's changed my mind. He's a really, really talented receiver. Maybe one of the most talented I've seen in my life. Like some of the stuff Jamar Chase does, and you have Burrow throwing him the ball. It's just a really good duo. Give me the Bengals 30-20. I just don't think Tennessee has enough. And I mean, Will Levis is going to make mistakes. I guarantee it. Give me the Bengals 30-20. Commanders versus Saints. And I'll take the Commanders in this one. They need to keep winning. They know that they can't give up their spot in the postseason. They just got to keep on winning. They're 8-5 right now. They got to keep turning wins, and I think they do in this. I like Jaden Daniels to play a good game. And the Saints just haven't – I think the loss of Taysom Hill is going to be just tough for them. Where are you going to produce all your offense? You have so many receivers out too, and that's why I got to take the Commanders 27-20. I just think that Terry McLaurin, other weapons. I think the Commanders take this 27-20. Moving forward to the Ravens and the Giants, and the Ravens, they're going to win this game. The Giants are tanking big time. They can't afford to win another game right now. They can't. Lamar, I expect him to have a monster game here. This is the type of game that Lamar Jackson puts up mad points in right here. This is a game against an NFC team, a very inferior NFC team too. They're not going to be ready, and I think the Giants are looking to lose at this point. It just they want that first pick. Expect Baltimore to roll 28-13. I don't think it's close. I don't think it's competitive. I think it's 28-6 for a while. Maybe Giants get a late garbage touchdown. 28-13. The Panthers and the Cowboys. The Panthers have looked much, much better in recent weeks. Bryce Young, he's starting to show that maybe he could play. I still think he's too small, but he's proven me wrong already that he's been able to somewhat look competent out there. And he's been looked better every week. They've been playing the spoiler week after week, haven't been able to get it done. I think they get it done against the Dallas Cowboys, 24-21. Cowboys, you have talent, but not enough talent. And at this point, they're out of the playoff race. They're not going to make it. I think that they're more so looking to lose. And I know Carolina's out of it too, but they're kind of looking to win at this point. They want Bryce Young to look better. They're going to try in this game. And that's why I got to take the Panthers here, 24-21. The Jets versus the Jags. And I think if you look at the Jets, they've actually been in a lot of games this year. They've been bad, but they've lost a lot of close games this year. Like the one to Miami last week. There was an early one to Denver in the year. There's a bunch of other ones too. They've lost a lot of close games this year. And at some point you got to, it's not all them. Sometimes they're just losing to good performances. They are choking these leads, but I think they get this one against the Jags 25-19. They're going up against Mac Jones. There's not really that much upside to the Jags here. They need a lot of help in the draft. And I just think that the Jets, this is a game that it just makes sense that they would win this one. And that's why I got to take the Jets 25-19. I just think they get one. Give one to Aaron Rodgers. I feel bad at this point. Let's give them a win. 25-19 Jets. The Texans and the Dolphins. I've been saying for a while, I think the Dolphins are one of the more emerging come from behind teams of the year. If you look from it, because they were terrible early, then Tua came back, and they've kind of been rolling on some wins. They got a really emotional win against the Jets. The Jonnu Smith tight end guy has been really good for them. Tyreek Hill starting to emerge a little bit, and they've looked a lot better. They've looked a lot better than they've been, and if you look at Houston, the O-line's been a mess. You have questions at receiver. Stroud, it's been a sophomore slump. I still think he's a good quarterback, but it's been a sophomore slump. And I think it's really close. I think it could go either way. But I got to take Miami 34-31. I think that at this point, they're going to score more points than the Texans just because the Texans, it's tough for them to put up a lot of points with that O-line and with some of the receiver limitations that I was talking about earlier. I don't know if they get as many as Miami. That's why I have Miami 34-31. Moving forward to the Broncos and the Colts. And the Colts have been just one of those so-so teams this year where they could have won a lot of games. It's tough to say. But if you look at Denver, they've been a better team this year. Bo Nix, Sean Payton, that duo has just worked. They found a way. I feel like I'm a broken record saying it, but week after week, it just looks like Sean Payton found his Drew Brees again in the form of Bo Nix, and everything's coming together. Their defense looks really good certain weeks. Give me them 20-16. I think it's a close game. If you look at it, the Colts have been playing teams close all year, but I got to give this one to Denver 20-16. Then we go to what I think, after looking at this, is the game of the week. You have the Lions and the Bills. The Bills coming off a really emotional loss last week by 2 points to the Rams. And Josh Allen had maybe the best game ever as a quarterback. He played incredible, but he's got his work cut out for him against this Detroit team, and he's on the road. This game's in Buffalo. I'm taking the Bills for sure. But if you look at it, I just think that Detroit's going to be too much. I have them 38-35, and I think it's a really close game. I think it's a battle all the way through. But Detroit is just not a team I want to bet against right now. I don't want to bet against them, especially at home. And they're just so sound offensively. They're so sound defensively. They really have so few holes. And if you look at the Bills, their defense lets up at times. If they let the Lions score too much, it's just going to be too much for the Bills. And that's why I got to take Detroit 38-35 at home. Then we go to another really good game, another really solid game in Pittsburgh and the Philadelphia Eagles, Steelers-Eagles. And this is another game where it's one of those few games where I really don't know what to make of it. If you look at the Eagles, they've been dealing with issues now. They didn't look great against Carolina. Apparently, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are having, like, they're not looking eye to eye. I don't know why. That was leaked to the media. And usually when things are leaked to the media, they want it to be leaked to the media. So I thought that was weird. But if you look at it, this is around the same point last year where they fell apart. So I don't think they're going to fall apart this year. I think Saquon Barkley is the thing holding the Eagles together. But, I mean, if you look at the Steelers, they've been really good. The one thing I will say, though, Pickens might not play in this game, and I think their offense is different without George Pickens. That's why I will take the Eagles 28-27. I think Saquon Barkley is just the difference this year for this team, and I think he gets them past. If George Pickens is playing this game, I don't know, but I'm going to take the Eagles 28-27. Moving forward, we have the Cardinals and the Patriots, and this is one where I think Arizona's got to find a way to win this game. If you look at Kyler Murray, he hasn't looked the best in the past couple of weeks. He needs to be better. I think Drake May's been a talented player, but I think Arizona is a little too talented. Maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. steps up in this game, has another big game. He had a lot of big games early. He hasn't had that many big games as of recent, but I still think they win 20-13. I just think there'll be too much for this Patriots team, who is at a point right now where it would probably benefit them more to lose. So I'll take the Cardinals 20-13. Moving on, we have the Chargers and the Bucs. And if you look at it here, I think that the Bucs have been playing really well as of recent. They've been on a bit of a tear. They've been playing well. But I think that the Chargers, just with Harbaugh, with what they've put together, coming off that emotional loss to Kansas City, I think it's a really tough one to predict, but I got to take the Chargers in this. And I think with Harbaugh there, with the momentum, give me them 20-19. I think they find a way to get over Baker, but I will say Baker's had an incredible season this year. Moving on, we have the Packers and the Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. Going to be a good showdown. The Packers coming off a tough, really emotional loss against the Detroit Lions, who I think are the best team in football. And Seattle's that team where I think what I was saying earlier is I know what their floor is a really good team that can beat anybody. I just don't know what their ceiling is at this point. I don't know what their ceiling is at this point, but I think Green Bay gets this 35-28. I think they're just too much. I think that they turn it on. I think LaFleur out schemes them a little bit, and they win 35-28 on Sunday Night Football. There will be two games on Monday Night Football. The first one, the Vikings and the Bears. And the Bears have looked rough. I mean, the Bears, it's just they haven't clicked. Their offense hasn't been there. Minnesota has won a lot of close games this year. It's really similar to the team that they had 2 years ago. And I just got to take them. I'm going to take them 18-14. I think they find a way to get over the Bears. If you look at it, Sam Darnold's looking so good because of Justin Jefferson, because of Jordan Addison. They have really put him in a position to win recently, and it has gotten them over the hump. If you're looking at the Bears, they just seem deflated right now. I can't take them. Then going on to the other later window Monday Night Football game, the Falcons, who have been reeling, and the Raiders, who have also looked really rough recently. They're also trying to tank for that first pick like the Giants. I don't expect them to win this. Their quarterback situation not good right now. It hasn't been the whole year, but now it's even worse. And I like Brock Bowers, as I've said with them. But I think Atlanta, even though Kirk Cousins hasn't been playing well, I think they find a way, they settle it down, and they find a way to get a good, solid victory in this one, and they win 31-15, just put up enough points, and they find a way to get it done. Atlanta 31-15. I like these picks this week. I'll be back for week 16.